Hi everyone, my name is Amy and I'm a third year student studying the Bachelor of Music Education at Sydney Conservatorium of Music. This semester I had the pleasure of undertaking a subject called Technology and Music Education, in which I had the opportunity to create a project of my own choosing. During the process of thinking about what I wanted to create, two things came to mind. Number one, I knew I wanted to do something aimed for children, and number two, I knew I wanted it to be about flute, my main instrument. This got me back to thinking when I was starting flute at the age of around 7 or 8. I moved to a brand new school with a brand new band program, and the teachers handed out sheets with a list of musical instruments on them. Most of them I had no idea what they were or what they sounded like, and out of pure randomness, I just chose the flute, and it stuck with me to this day. However, I thought about how children these days might experience that same sort of confusion I did when I had the opportunity to pick an instrument of my own choosing. And as a flute advocate, I want kids to know all about the instrument they want to pick. This is where my interactive iBook comes in, Fiona's Fantastical Flute Adventure. This fun interactive iBook aimed for young children contains the story of Fiona, a young girl who travels back in time to find out how the flute came to be how it is today. She explores the sounds, the materials, and the workings of the flute, as well as taking the audience on a journey to new and exciting places, where the flute was becoming one of the most popular instruments in the orchestral world. Here is a reading of the book in its entirety. I hope you enjoy. Fiona's Fantastical Flute Adventure, written by Amy Sung. On a bright summer's day, a young girl named Fiona was cleaning her old attic with her mum by her side, hands dirty, smiling wide. Boxes and boxes piled on top of each other, all worn out and looked like they hadn't seen the sun in quite some time. Full of old clothes and dirty toys, Fiona spotted one box that stood out the most, one that made a rattling noise. This case is called an instrument case. Inside the case is an instrument. Instrument cases come in all different shapes and sizes. It makes it easier to carry around our instrument when we aren't playing them. It's called a flute, said Fiona's mum happily. A flute? She had not heard of anything of the sort. To Fiona, it looked quite strange, split into 3 parts with many holes and many keys. Fiona wondered what this could be. Click here to listen to a flute. Fiona listened carefully to her mum as she started putting together the flute one by one. Fiona's mum's story then begun. This is called a music note. Music notes are what musicians read in order to play songs. Music notes come in many different shapes and sizes. They show us when to play and when not to play, and also how high or low we need to play. Where are we, Mum? Fiona said surprisingly. We're in the Middle Ages. This is one of the first flutes ever created, the transverse flute. The Middle Ages was from 5th to the 15th century. It's also called the medieval times. The transverse flute has 6 holes and another hole at the top to blow through. People in the Middle Ages used the flute for very special events. They even used it in the army. Click here to listen to a transverse flute. Welcome to the Baroque period. Is this a new flute, Mum? Yes, Fiona, this is called a Baroque flute. Let me tell you all about this amazing flute. The Baroque period began in the early 17th century and finished in the 1740s. 2 of the most famous composers in the Baroque period are Bach and Handel. The Baroque flute is made out of wood and is in a cylinder shape. It also has 6 holes. This flute got to play with other instruments such as the harpsichord and the violin. It can also split into 3 parts. Click to listen to a Baroque flute. Welcome to the Romantic period. This flute looks very different. This is called a Romantic transverse flute. It's made out of metal. The Romantic period began at the end of the 18th century and was the most popular in around 1800 to 1850. The Romantic period was all about showing emotions through song, dance, and art. The Romantic transverse flute was created by flutist Theobald Boehm. He created the Boehm system, which is the sets of keys that are placed on the metal cylinder to create a lovely, bright sound. This meant the flute could play louder, clearer, and even higher notes. Boehm was born in 1794. Click to listen to a poem flute. We're back home. What about your own flute, Mum? Let me tell you all about the flute we use today. The flute we use right now uses the Boehm system. Now there are keys covering all of the holes. If you press them down and blow into the hole at the top, called the embouchure, you will create a light and bright sound. Our flute can do many things that the other flutes could not, such as play very loud, very soft, and very fast notes. Click to listen to the flute. The flute is actually a part of the flute family. Let's meet its other members. Here is the flute family. Fiona's fantastical flute adventure had only just begun. Who knew learning the flute could be so fun? Fiona leaped and jumped with glee, for what she had discovered in that dusty old attic was more than just a sight to see. Hi everyone, my name is Amy and I'm the author and creator of Fiona's Fantastical Flute Adventure. Thank you for reading my book. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to know more about the making of this book, click on the bottom of the page. I hope you enjoyed the reading of my book. Let's dive into how I made this book. I used a couple of websites which helped me create this book. Firstly, I used Pixton to create my characters. Pixton is a free cartoon comic book strip creator. I used Pixton to create Fiona and Fiona's mum. Firstly, I picked a template character out of the ones that were in the options, and I edited their hair and their outfit to suit Fiona and her mum's personality. Then for each page, I chose different actions and facial expressions. These were easily available in the selections found on the cartoon character creator. Once I decided the characters and their expressions, I moved on to the design of the book. For the cover and the designs of the pages, I used Canva. Canva is a free website in which you can design anything from posters to magazines to book covers. I chose to use Canva because I was already familiar with the workings of the website and I found it easy and quick to use. I got access to Canva Pro, which allows you to use many more shapes, images, and designs. This allowed me to create things such as speech bubbles, images of locations, and many more. To put everything together and add interactivity to it, I used iBooks Author. iBooks Author is a free app in which you can download on any iOS and it allows you to create your own iBook. I simply placed the pages from Canva into the iBooks Author, then once that was all done, I added the interactive elements to my book. I had two different widgets in which I used all throughout the book. The first one was a pop-up widget, in which I put a pop-up widget on the page and replaced the automatically generated image with a Click Me button. When you click on the button, a pop-up will come up about information showed on the page. I put this on the page to explain to younger children some words that they may not quite understand. The second widget I added was the audio widgets. I simply dragged in MP3 audio of what I wanted to play onto the page I wanted to play on, and then it pops up as a play button. I typed in "click here to listen," and once you press the play button, the audio will play. The audio snippets usually last around 3 to 5 minutes, so you can listen to it however long or however short you would like. And that's how I made Fiona's Fantastical Flute Adventure. You can find all the information about my iBook on my blog, and you can download the book for free on there as well in both iBooks version and PDF version. I hope you enjoyed learning all about the makings of my technology in music education project, Fiona's Fantastical Flute Adventure. Thanks for watching.